Ever since the first humans left a mark of their presence, perhaps expressing a thought, an emotion, or a belief, we have been enchanted by the infinite possibility of art as cultural expression. And from the first ochre strokes painted on rock, we've been exploring new and different ways of leaving traces of ourselves behind. Every era leaves a mark in its art and culture. These marks reflect its people and their stories, even those stories they find difficult to tell. For hundreds of years, art from Africa, those marks and traces from and about this place, have found homes elsewhere. Stolen or bought, African visual art is found principally in traditional museums, a space that requires a passive viewer to whom knowledge is imparted, and not spaces where knowledge is produced in symbiosis between artist and viewer, storyteller and listener.
I know of no place where there is music and painting and sculpture and video and installation art that is more thriving and that is more extraordinarily beautiful than what is happening on this continent. And yet, all of the exhibits, all of the concerts, all of the records, everything is coming out elsewhere.
It has meant that a large part of Africa's intelligence, Africa's heart, Africa's soul has left this continent.
Most of our continent's people live without the mirror that such art from the past and present can provide. We live without the art by which we can recognize ourselves, and we live without a vital component of our humanity.
So especially coming from South Africa, there's actually always been a historical severance of ourselves, maybe mentally but also politically, from the rest of the continent. And often people don't even refer to themselves as Africans, or they talk about Africa as if it's somewhere else.
African visual art is only part of our story, however. Music, dance and theatre also define who we are. And while there are institutions in Africa dedicated to individual African arts, there's no place or space which nurtures the growth of all African art forms by bringing artists from different disciplines together to dream and define new ways of expression.
The past generations have been dreaming of such a space, such a platform, and the fact that it's happening now and here on the continent, it's extremely important.
Certainly the time has come for a place where African arts and cultural expression can be nurtured and created. A place in Africa for Africans, where we can debate, delve into and discover our art and artists, while creating a market for African art in all of its disciplines. This place should not be just a place, or just a building, not just a place where art hangs on a wall, but a place where all forms of art can be and are experienced. A place where practitioner and participant merge in a symbiotic and empowering relationship with each other. A place that nurtures and develops the creative spirit in aid of the economic, social, and political growth of our continent. Where do we begin? Based in Africa, this space should be both a physical entity and an ongoing philosophical process, growing organically into a place where function dictates form, a place where African culture can be experienced and appreciated, a multi-sited, multiple usage space catering for poetry and the spoken word, exhibition and performance, film and theatre production, and with cultural research capacity on an international level. A blank canvas for our mark makers, rethinking and deconstructing the idea of the traditional museum, creating a place that is adaptable, a place that changes with its people, its ideas, and their execution, a place of dialogue and engagement, where new audiences are encouraged to interact with art in all of its disciplines, a place for everyone to create, debate, and rejoice in African culture. The space should connect Africans from Cape Town to Tangier. Give the mark makers a platform from which to create new markets and to make a living, from which to look into our past and foretell our future, a platform from which to view art in a new way, find new audiences, and represent spatially and architecturally the meeting of our myriad of cultures. This space is the Africa Center.